Just like with Thunderlord, we start again in the distant past of 2013 with the E3 demo on June 10th, 2013. At around the 9-minute mark, we see our protagonist meet up with Cosmos Bungie, who says,
"Looks like you guys could use a Titan."
Absolutely.
"So what are we doing? And can I use this?"
The "this" they refer to is of course today's history topic of Gjallarhorn. This is the first appearance of the weapon, and later on August 22nd, 2013, Bungie would post the concept behind Gjallarhorn on the Destiny drawing board. Here they note about the large amount of wolf theming behind the weapon, even bringing in a new statistic for the weapon labeled as WPG, or wolves per gun. The designer of the weapon, Mark Van Heidsma, said they added a wolf every day that they worked on it. There's a total of 16 wolves designed into the weapon. The release of Destiny brought with it the release of Gjallarhorn to everybody. However, it's not until much later when people realized the full potential of this weapon. That doesn't stop us from seeing what this weapon looked like at launch. Its main perks were tracking rounds and wolfpack rounds, where when the shells exploded, they split into miniature exploding wolf heads that also tracked onto targets. Gjallarhorn's description reads, "If there's beauty in destruction, why not also in its delivery?" And the Grimoire card reads, "Gjallarhorn is shown to be a symbol of honor and survival." During the second week of Destiny, players had noticed a strange face come around on the weekends selling exotics. This face is none other than Xur, Agent of the Nine. During this week, Xur infamously sold the exotic Gjallarhorn. I say infamously since at this point in time, the Destiny player base wasn't at all like it is now. People saw this as a waste of strange coins since those were still uncommon enough to be considered valuable, and also said it was a weak or underwhelming weapon, again since people didn't see the perks on it as strong or powerful. With the release of The Dark Below came the release of the Crota's End raid. This is where I believe people realized the full potential of Gjallarhorn, as this weapon was able to break Crota's shield in one magazine. This started giving people a reason to actually use the weapon, and people quickly found out that,
"Hey, that's pretty good."
I could be wrong about this, but I also cannot seem to find any media before Dark Below going over the weapon or showcasing the power of it. And with this newfound popularity, it then led to the stigma of gatekeeping and LFGs. Because there was posts that actually had Gjallarhorn required as one of its requirements for a long time inside of LFGs. And if you didn't have Gjallarhorn, you would be kicked back to orbit. And given how rare it was to earn exotics back then, this meant when you actually got it, you may have gone a little overboard with your reaction.
You don't have a Gjallarhorn? Oh, I got it! Yeah, I got it! Yes! Yeah! Oh my god! Wow! I got it! Yes! I got the Gjallarhorn! I got the Gjallarhorn! Yes! Yes! Fuck life! Fuck life! Fuck life! Yes!
This weekend was the second and final weekend that Xur ever sold Gjallarhorn in Destiny 1. September 8th, 2015 marks the very first change to Gjallarhorn, with that being, they nerfed the Wolfpack rounds damage by roughly a third, and rocket launchers got a slight buff to their blast radius distance. This was again the update where the Year 1 minor perks were nerfed, so going through them quickly here. Soft launch, stability bonus made into a penalty, projectile speed penalty is now a bonus. Smart drift control for rockets, reduced the stability bonus by 40% and reduced the projectile speed penalty by 33%. Speed reload, reduced the reload bonus by 80%. Confined launch, increased projectile speed penalty by 25% and reduced the stability bonus by 33%. Quick draw and snapshot seem to be unaffected by any nerfs. Although none of these really matter for Year 2 of Destiny, as in the Taken King, some exotics were left behind and couldn't be brought up to the new power cap, making them effectively useless in the normal activities of the Taken King. Gjallarhorn was one of them. However, I will still mention on December 8th, 2015, they fixed an issue where the Takeo Knot Titan helmet would turn off tracking for rockets that already had it. Bungie released the Rise of Iron reveal trailer, and towards the end of it we see a familiar face. However, this one is different since its color scheme is different. Instead of the copper and white, it's silver and black. They then released a separate trailer for this new Iron Gjallarhorn for the pre-order bonus for Rise of Iron. This trailer also uses audio from streamers getting their first OG Gjallarhorn and their reactions.
Gjallarhorn! Oh my god! I've got Gallon! Yes! God, it happened!
With the release of Rise of Iron, players who pre-ordered immediately got access to their shiny new Iron Gallowhorn, except it was stuck at light level 3 until they completed the quest for it. The first part of the quest, titled Echoes of the Past, required you to complete the main campaign, and then complete the Anomaly Scan Patrol near Archon's Keep. After completing the patrol, players would then return to Saladin and pick up the quest called Beauty and Destruction. You then talk to Tyra and then go out and find the 7 different wolf head medallions across the Plaguelands. After then going and talking with Tyra, you'll be sent to do the mission called A Symbol of Honor. This mission had you go and look for any notes or documents left behind by Faisal Crux, who is the creator of Yallarhorn, along with being a part of the Crux Lamar weapon manufacturer. They had made the original Yallarhorn for Guardians who fought in the Battle of Twilight Gap out of the armor of fallen Guardians. This is most likely why it resembles the crest of Alpha Lupe so much. Crux and Lamar had workshops in the city in where is now known as Bannerfall, the PvP map. After defending ghosts and killing a boss, you go back to Tyra, who would then tell you to collect 5 dormant Siva clusters. Then you can finally start the mission called Beauty and Delivery. This mission has you grab your final part to Gallowhorn, and then you help defend ghosts while they assemble it. You can then finally grab your reassembled Gallowhorn Rise of Iron edition. You eliminate more Fallen, and the mission ends. Go back and talk with Saladman, and that ends the questline. There's only one update that's relevant to Gallowhorn until our next jump in the timeline, and that's on September 29th, 2016, fixed an issue where players that completed the Beauty and Delivery questline would not receive the Gallowhorn.
Into the dungeon!
While not strictly related to the timeline of Gallowhorn, an interesting fact about it is that a game called Enter the Gungeon had an update called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons that was released this day, and it had a weapon called the Exotic. This weapon would explode into 7 different projectiles upon hit and inflict fire damage as well. Sound familiar? It also has a synergy perk called It's Your Destiny, where if the player also has Icebreaker, a slow-firing, high-energy weapon that regenerates ammo over time, the rounds now release 14 projectiles on hit. Firing this weapon also spawned a ghost that would help and follow the player. I'm really curious to see if the most keen viewers amongst you know why I'm bringing up Season of Drifter here. I'll let you know right now that Gallowhorn does not return here, that's later. So I'll give you some time to think about what could possibly be brought up here that's even related to Gallowhorn. While you're trying to figure that out, it should be noted that the Drifter is somewhat relevant to it, as one of his lines before starting a game of Gambit claims he had pawned his Gallowhorn.
Fallen. Yeah, I'd go out there with you. Instead of pawn my Gallowhorn.
So if you haven't figured out what Gallowhorn's relevance is inside of Forsaken yet, here it is. During the Allegiance questline, where you had to decide whether to side with the Drifter or the Vanguard, if you sided with the Drifter, you then got the quest called Honor Among Thieves. During this quest, you would end up at Spider to make a deal with his black market. In his inventory, you can notice some familiar items he has for literal impossible prices. There's a live ghost, a piece of a war mine, a coordinates beacon, the thing you're actually supposed to buy, a list of 9 different coordinates that are scattered throughout the heliopause, the lion, which resembles a Hadium flake from D1, a key to a certain executioner's home in the last city, and of course, Yellowhorn, or rather the Midnight Special, a non-functioning replica of a fabled weapon. I'd be very surprised if some of you remembered this being a troll from Bungie. Bungie released the 30th anniversary expansion bundle, and with it brought the auspicious return of Gallowhorn to Destiny 2. It had a questline to go with it, and that would first start by speaking to Zerd to pick up the name of the quest called And Outfly the Wolves. You first talked to Shah Han, who then told you to complete the Grasp of Avarice dungeon. You then talk to Sean again, kill Powerful Fallen to receive Wolfpack crowns, talk to Shance again, then talk to Banshee, complete the Exodus to a Lost Sector, assemble Yellowhorn at Sheen's camp, talk to Schmear one last time, and you earn your brand old Yellowhorn. This weapon has stayed relatively the same as its D1 counterpart, apart from the fact that it now gives Wolfpack rounds to teammates using non-exotic rocket launchers, making it much more of a support weapon. A catalyst was also released alongside the weapon, and all you have to do for that is, inside the dungeon, a major vandal spawns that drops fake engrams when damaged, which then allow you to open hidden chests throughout the dungeon. Opening all 3 of them gives you the catalyst, which adds an extra rocket to the magazine, and kills with Wolfpack rounds spawn a mini rocket that homes into enemies. At first, I don't think people understood just how good this weapon was on release, but as the months and years went by, people really began to see the full potential of this weapon, much like how it was in D1 as well. The community noticed that the scaling amount of Wolfpack rounds in a full fire team was outputting way more damage than maybe was intended. It was found out that Wolfpack rounds could scale all the way up to a massive 80% damage boost for already top tier legendary rockets in a full fire team. This was due to a physics bug interaction with Wolfpack rounds that caused a lot of chunking to occur. This gave rockets, who already were putting out top tier damage with the right rotation, to skyrocket into popularity and potency. Even with one of the nerfs coming up that happened to Gjallarhorn, it wasn't Gjallarhorn that was causing the chunking, but just the nature of Wolfpack rounds. Going through all the nerfs, buffs, and changes to Gjallarhorn, or changes affecting Gjallarhorn, we start with February 22nd, 2022. Gjallarhorn is considered a precision frame rocket, so it gets the 10% damage nerf that all precision frame rockets get at this time. March 10th, 2022, tracking rockets were adjusted after being found too dominant against other Guardians when invading in Gambit. June 29th, 2022, Bungie announces the nerf collab with Destiny, bringing with it a nerf Gjallarhorn. July 7th, 2022, Bungie releases a nerf version of Gjallarhorn for pre-order for anyone who obtained it in-game before August 1st, 2022. On July 19th, 2022, primary rockets no longer have proximity detonation and Wolfpack rounds deal half damage to players. October 18th, 2022, rocket launchers got a 0.4 meter increase to their blast radius. December 6th, 2022, reduced the primary rocket's impact and detonation damage by 25%. This season is the day of reckoning for Gjallarhorn. This season brought an update that fixed the chunking issue that Wolfpack rounds had for a long time. Instead of an up to 80% buff for legendary rockets, all rockets regardless of fireteam size got a roughly 27% buff instead. This was also a stealth nerf too, which made searching for this incredibly fun. I knew that a nerf had happened but couldn't remember when, and scouring through the patch notes looking for it only to find out that, oh, it was a stealth nerf by the way. Oh, thanks Bungie, appreciate it. Oh, also they had made it so Wolfpack rounds no longer triggered the chill clip perk. This wasn't a stealth nerf though. On March 5th, 2024, it changes the precision frame nerf of 10% to 5% and adds 2 rounds to the reserves. On June 4th, 2024, updated the visual of Wolfpack rounds to better match the weapon. For example, Void rockets will show Void effects and G-Horn will show Solar effects. July 15th, 2025, most rocket launchers now get 2 ammo from pickups in Crucible. On September 9th, 2025, Wolfpack rounds from Gjallarhorn are now considered micro-missiles. And finally, on June 9th, 2026, rocket launcher damage against bosses increased by 5%, and rockets can now penetrate anti-barrier shields. And that covers it. Every single significant update, change, buff, and nerf. Gjallarhorn may very much be the most legendary weapon inside of Destiny, both in terms of the impact it had on the community and how much of a powerhouse it's been. Once again, being shown all the way back in the E3 demo to becoming one of the best jack-of-all-trades weapons we've ever had. Again, if you'd like to see this series continue, let me know, and let me know what exotic you'd like to see next. So until next time, see ya. For any notes or documents left behind by Faisal, fucking Destiny and its weird ass names.